in our country. That's questionable. That's one. Secondly, were we not all here when this same Trump established Doge? He established Doge to clean up the mess of the previous administration. And Doge openly came out to see that the trace part of their funding, they traced the paper trail and they found that using the US aid, part of the US funding was going to Boko Haram on several other terrorist organizations. We never heard the last of, we never heard anything from that angle. Then but let us not find ourselves in a situation whereby those who are funding this so-called military organization are the ones who say they want to give us help. Because that is how the handwriting on the wall is looking like to me, as far as I'm concerned. Because if they sincerely in their hearts truly want to help us, they should follow what is called the due process that they know. First of all, we know that US is a country that is all-knowing. One of the easiest ways to tackle this terrorism is to follow the money trail. Most of us know how much it costs to buy one single bullet of an AK-47. These guys, how are they getting the money to fund themselves with this sophisticated weapon? Once you can trace the way the funding is coming, you've literally picked them apart completely. Without even engaging them with guns and weapons. Once you trace where they are getting this funding from, where they are getting these weapons from, you have literally crippled them completely. They have not even exploited that avenue. This same US that's all knowing, that have all the intel in the world, that have all the satellite that's watching over literally everybody. They've not been able to provide us with the names of those who are sponsoring these people. Are they telling us that they don't know? Of course they do know. They are aware of everything. We were here when I think it was under Jonathan, I think 2015, where they carried out a military operation in Nigeria, and they picked up one of their citizens that was by these so-called intelligence. They did it cleanly without nobody. They have all the intel you can possibly require in regards to this Boko Haram, but they are not interested in all that. That's not what they came here to do. They want to put food in a sovereign country. So my message to Nigeria is: let us be careful in who we call to come and help us, so that we won't find ourselves in a situation where we're going from frying pan to fire. Because that is the handwriting I'm seeing on the wall as it stands like this. If they sincerely want to help us from their hearts, they should follow the right process. Provide us with intel with those who are sponsoring these people. Provide us with training against counter-terrorism. Provide us with military hardware like they are doing other countries that we can see for ourselves. Ukraine, for an example. They should go through that process. When they've exhausted all those processes and the insurgency continue, then they can now contemplate on even talking about putting foot on, because it's technically is an act of war, whether we want to agree or not. By the time you bring in your military to a sovereign country, it's an act of war, directly or indirectly. That is what it is. So before we even get there, they should exploit this other option if they are seriously sincere in helping this country. If that is their real motive, Some people are saying stealing of resources. I say no. Anybody who's talking about stealing of resources does not understand the issue of now. Your resources have completely been looted. Do we still have resources? All the companies exploring petrol digging petrol. I don't know how foreign countries, from the Shells to the Chevrons to the Exxon Mobils, they've carted away your resources a long time ago, even before you knew it. So anybody who thinks that the US is coming to steal your resources, I'm sorry, you are a joke. It has already been stolen. The joke's on you. It has long been taken away. What we have here is reserves. That's what we have now, and they know. That's why they're really most not interested in the oil in this country anymore, because it's barely even enough to fund our budgets anyway. So anybody who's talking about them coming to see your resources, that person is a joke. It's not aware of reality. Something else is cooking that we don't know. Let us open our eyes. That's all I'm saying. Don't want to hog the mic too much. That's my 2 cents. Thank you very much for providing me with the platform. Host.
Marcel, please, can you give me 30 seconds? I'm so sorry.
No, all right. So, sorry. No, one minute. Okay, so, okay. Mr. President, can you kindly mute your mic, please? So,
okay.
Thank you, sir. Now, we'll give you 30 seconds, but next time, please do raise your hand, right? Then we'll pass the mic to you rather than interjecting, because I was going to respond to Mr. Francis, but he interjected. So, and Francis, thank you very much for your submission. I was going to pass the mic to Peter K. Peter, please, if it's okay for you, with you, can I quickly allow President Eniola to respond? He said 30 seconds. If it's more than 30 seconds, I will take the mic from him. Is that okay with you, sir? Mr. Peter,
yeah.
Thank you very much. President, you have the mic for 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you so much. Please, for the record, yes, Mr. Francis, the U.S. government has provided training, also military support in the last 1 year, $140-something million release in military aid, and also for the name of those who are sponsoring Boko Haram. Yes, 400 of them were mentioned by the name were not mentioned by Muhammadu Buhari regime. So blame Nigerian government, not the US. Military aid has been provided. The name of the sponsor of Boko Haram is with the government, but they've refused to really punish them or really go after them. There are companies who are sponsoring Boko Haram in this country, but the government has refused and or has failed to go after them. Thank you. You know them. The government knows them, rather.
All right, thank you. Sorry, Mr. Francis, please hold your thoughts for a minute. I know you like to respond, but it will not be fair because Mr. Peter allowed Mr. President to speak. I will come back to you, please. Hold your thoughts for a minute. Peter, you have the mic. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much. Okay, so what I want to say is that when it comes to international the diplomacy and when we talk about a sovereign nation, I think one of the conversations should be that there's an enemy here that the Nigerian government to claim over time that they've been trying to get rid of. So the common enemy between Nigeria and US, let me put it that way, I think that's the conversation as far as I'm concerned. Now, can Nigeria discuss with the US and say, okay, let us look at the legal limit on the use of force? What are the areas you can actually get into? Because a lot of people, when they talk about this boot on ground, I think they just think of some of these movies that we watch and just think American soldier will just come into our street everywhere. Nigeria has also done that before when we're doing ECOMOG, peacekeeping, going to one country or the other, making sure there's peace. Right now, we have a situation that has overwhelmed us as a nation. You understand? So the reality is that the second question is that what is the motive of this intervention? Let me put it that way. What is the motive? Is the motive to come and stop this problem that we have? Because we all believe and know that there's a problem. So is this motive that, okay, these Americans are coming, and from the report we have, most of these bandits are not living inside the cities. Most of them are living in those forests and all the rest. Is that where this war is going to take place? Is that the battleground? Or the battleground is going to be in the city center? You understand? Because these are, for me personally, the conversation that should be coming up and what we should discuss. Now, the Nigerian army is over time saddled with the responsibility of making sure that they protect the integrity of this nation over threat, both internal and external. So the review here clearly shows that there's a problem because they are not actually silent. They've been talking, but the reality is that should we just pretend and continue with them? Because this intervention, some of the people that are saying that, everybody should mind his business and let everybody just face his own problem. So Nigeria should continue in this trajectory that we've been having for how many years are we going to go through with this? And let me say here that there are, for me personally, or of course generally, there are two types of citizens in a nation. We have the real citizens, those that come out to vote, Nigerians and all the rest. And there's corporate citizens. They also have interest in this nation, whether you believe it or not. They have their staffs in this nation. They have information. They have their business in this nation. There's nothing you can do about it. They also have their interests. You think it's only Nigerians that is only talking? And the third thing I'm going to say is that we have stakeholders, elder statesmen in Nigeria, people like IBB, people like Obasanjo, and the rest. What is their body language? Do we know some of the kind of meetings some of these people have had? Because there are some of these conversations. I don't think Trump will be mad to just be making statements like this without going through some kind of protocol. And for me to rest my case, I'm going to just look at what the U.S. lawmaker said to analyze it. Because for me, what he said is putting context to the whole thing. And if I'm going to look at it, I stand to be corrected. You understand? Is that he's saying that they should provide military assistance, because I read your tweet and I read it again. Provide military assistance. You understand? That's a phrase, and that typically means that provide support, still provide training, still provide intelligence sharing, maybe arm sales. It's possible there are certain ammunition that we have been looking for and we needed this arm, we don't have them. Maybe this is an opportunity to say, okay, we have been asking you, America, to give us this particular arm, but you've not given us, that's why we've not won this war. If you look at Ukraine, most time the president will be saying, give me these things, give me that, give me all this. He keeps shouting. What exactly are we asking for? At the time we're asking for Tucano, it came. And okay, there are restrictions around that. What are we actually asking for? Okay, so now are we going for the non-kinetic? Is it producing result? Non-kinetic that today you're going to have meeting and tomorrow you see that the dimension has changed? And the fact is, and the reality is that these guys are different camps. So if Camp A come and have a discussion with you, Camp B doesn't care. It's already complex. If Camp A and B and C come around and have a meeting with you, Camp C and D doesn't care. This is already an industry that is making money for some of these guys. You think the way it's going, these guys are going to stop? You know, even if the American did not come and actually provoke this conversation, what have we been talking about all this while? As in, we were pretending as if it never exists? Because now everybody is talking about it. Leaders are talking about it. The clergymen are talking about it. Some people are now coming out to speak. I don't want to mention anyone. But before now, what have they been saying? There are people who have never condemned killings in this country. Go and check it. They've never said anything. Is it fear that has made them not to condemn some killings? Now they are coming out to take a position, whether it is this or that. You understand? You know, fine. There may be a problem with classification of the US president tweet. Then we should help him reclassify it and say, Mr. President, there are more information that you don't have. Even the Muslims are being killed. Even traditionalists are being killed. It's beyond that. Fine, it was the Christians or whatever it is that came to present the case. But it's deeper than that. You understand? So for me to round up, I'm going to say, thank you very much for giving me the mic, but I'm going to say that the reality is that from political perspective, you understand, we have to look at like what happened today. I think it's like somebody have said that, and I want to repeat it because it's something that we need to re-echo. That governor and other governors are supposed to be in Abuja discussing now, talking about the security challenge in the nation. Some of them that are dancing around, their state is under fire. They are the ones that their state is under serious fire. But dancing and saying somebody is coming to my party, meanwhile your own citizen, indigene of your state, are not safe. They're in camps. But as in, when you see some of these things, do you need an angel to tell you that these guys don't really care? So I think, it's a continuous conversation. It's a developing story. You understand? Let me put it that way. But I know that we need to do better than what we are doing. I would say lastly that the president of the United States of America said, if we do nothing, go and check it. It's there. If we do nothing. Now, the problem is that what is the timeline of nothing? Let the president come and address us on what the president of the United States of America mean by if Nigerian government do nothing, they may be forced to come in and do one or two things. So are they not going to do something, or they will still not do anything about it and still complain that Trump is giving us trouble? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Peter, for your submission. Please, guys, we have a lot of requests. I think we have about 13 requests. So if you have spoken already and you think there's nothing else for you to add, please, can you kindly leave this platform so we can make space to accommodate others? But if you think there's something else you need to add quickly, please do stay with us. And one other thing, please, guys, I'm begging everyone, when I raised my hand, it's just for you to round up. I don't think I want to stay here till 3:30 this morning like I've done in the last 3 days. So I know we have a lot that we want to say, but let's be very, very mindful of time so we can carry every other person along. So if you have spoken already and you think there's nothing else for you to add, please, can you kindly, respectfully, leave the platform so we can accommodate others, please? I'm begging everyone on the speaker section. Thank you, guys. On that note, I will go to AO2 Agro Supply. Good evening, and thank you for joining
us. Good evening, everybody. Please, I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much for the platform. I've been speaking on the same thing for the past few days now. And at this point, I will first of all want to start by telling all of us, I'm not trying to be the harbinger of bad news, but we are all doomed. Yes, we are. Now, let me start by explaining how we are doomed. Let's assume that Trump decides to make a press statement now to say that they are due to public pressure or whatever it is, that they are no longer embarking on whatever it is he has tweeted before. What that will mean is that there have been an automatic morale high in the camp of the terrorists. Don't forget. Everyone on Twitter, on everywhere, championing that Trump is trying to come and invade us. Trump is trying to wipe Muslims. Not all of them are patriotic. Many of them are either terrorists or terrorist sympathizers or financiers. So they are just selling that thing just to see how they can pressure Trump not to, and then carry the population along. And should they succeed, and then we say, okay, we've gotten it our way, and they go, what will happen is this: there will be intensified terrorism action. For the past 3 days, the military have been dishing out back-to-back victories, and many of them have been debunked, and we found out that some of them are actually throwback pictures they are bringing out to make it look as if they're actually doing something. And that is dangerous. And now let's assume that the Americans say, okay, we don't have any problem. These people say they can handle it. Let's let them handle it. What is the assurance? Just this morning, I read in the papers, I think Sahara report or so, 17 people killed yesterday. They are no longer coming, and that is none of their business. Then we are doomed. Page unchecked. Don't forget, we have many of them, even the government and some. They are problem is how to fill them out. It's in public domain. The problem I have is not even with the terrorist citizens themselves. Nigeria the most docile set of
Sorry.
citizens.
I apologize, Mr. AO2. I'm not sure if it's from my end, but it would appear that your line is not clear. We keep cutting off. Please, those on the speaker section, are you guys experiencing the same thing?
His line is breaking.
Your line is breaking. So, Mr. AO2, please, if it's safe to do so, can you kindly leave the platform and rejoin? Because I do not want a situation where somebody will misquote you, right? We are still going to be here. Don't worry. We're not ending anytime soon, right? If that's okay, sir. Thank you very much. As we pass the mic to, okay, go ahead. Are you in a much better place, sir? Okay, it's no longer here. Let's go to Mr. Willie E.A.C.
Sorry to the host. Let me just quickly respond to what that guy said that I'll drop so that someone else can take over.
Okay, 1 minute, sir. You could have, you should have raised your hand now. That's the way. Oh,
Okay.
God, Nigerians, man.
Okay.
One minute. Let me.
No, the reason why I didn't raise up my hand,
1 minute.
I didn't want to seem like I'm trying to take another space. You understand what I'm saying?
No. 1 minute. Can you move your mic for me, please? Okay. When you raise, I know that you wanted to respond to him, and I will pass the mic to you. But what I'm trying to do is, at least let it not would appear that it's only myself, you, and other people, and those here, who have been here. They are not being considered, right? That wouldn't be fair. So what I would do is, Mr. Willie E.A.C.C. would have been the next speaker. But if it's happy for you to respond in a minute, please. Shouldn't be more than a minute. I will pass the mic to you. So let me quickly ask him, Mr. Willie, are you happy for Mr. Francis just to respond quickly? If not, you have the mic, sir.
No problem,
sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Francis, please go ahead. Let's not take more time, please. Thank you.
Okay, I apologize to the host. I just want to say something and I want to drop so that someone else can take up my position. The last person that responded to what I said, I don't know his name again. He said, we spoke about the intel that I mentioned. He said the US are aware of the names of their sponsors and they've handed it over to our government and our government have refused to do anything about it. So that's kind of a funny response because what that implies is that the US are aware of those who are sponsoring, yes? If that information he gives is any credible. Because the reality of this whole thing is this whole battle of insurgency can be stopped without necessarily applying physical combat. If you follow the paper trail in terms of finances, follow how they get their hardware, and you bring an end to that entire process, that brings an end to all their whole operation. But no, we are not thinking in that direction. What the US is more interested in is setting up military base in Nigeria. So that's enough reason for Nigerians to be suspicious. They don't want to go about it in the right way. Instead, they want to use force. So that's what I want to say. And I hand over the mic. Thank you for the platform, though.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis, for keeping the time as well. Thank you for your time on the platform. Mr. Willie E., you have the mic, sir.
Thank you very much, Mindsets. Let me start by saying this, because I want to give like a pretext just in case anybody, because there's a lot of noise on social media. But in the entire summary of what I'm about to say is that it's not that we don't need help, and it's not even that we don't need external help. It's how that help comes and what trade-offs that help will come with. Let me start like this. The problem is not whether or not there is insurgents or even terrorism in Nigeria. It's clear for years. I remember I grew up for the most part in eastern Nigeria, and my siblings went to boarding school in northern Nigeria. But I have, for the most part, like the memories of my childhood are filled with Christian churches praying because there are branches that are being bombed or destroyed in other places, or maybe there are radical groups that have killed some people at some point. In fact, one of the, which you could say, excuses that the group now called IPOB uses to rise up again was because they claimed that Igbos and specifically Christians or in general are being killed in the north. That was one of the reasons they stood up again after the death of Ojukwu, because it sort of died down a little bit and became like an internal thing. And then they became a group. Yes, there is killing, and it is also disproportionately against Christians. But it's not like you see in US media. It's not Muslims against Christians in that sense, as though like the everyday Nigerian Muslim hates the everyday Nigerian Christian and secretly wishes for them to die. It's not that at all. If you have seen Christians celebrate Christmas and Muslims celebrate Eid or Salah, Nigeria is a very bubbly place. I have Muslim friends. You just go to each other's house, eat goat's meat, or celebrate Christmas and pass around gifts. Nigeria is split down the middle when it comes to religion, and people are really friendly with each other in these celebrations. It doesn't represent like the vast how do you call it, the majority center or something like that, the vast middle of Nigeria, the vast majority of Nigeria. Um, those killings do not represent the feelings of the everyday Christian or the everyday Muslim in Nigeria, but it is definitely there, and it definitely happens, and it definitely happens disproportionately to a certain group. Um, Also, there is insecurity elsewhere, like some people will rightly point out, like in the east of Nigeria, where you have some people who will not allow you to go to work on Monday, or you have kidnappings. So let me even say this, right? Wherever you have either a radicalized group or a terrorist organization, sometimes those terror organizations, whether it's the people in the Niger Delta or people in the southeast or the south part of Nigeria, or people in the or Fulani herdsmen, one of the things they do as a side gig, it would seem, is like kidnapping, like banditry. But there is usually like some kind of organization that is there, and then they are trying to support themselves on the everyday when they're not going to full scale assault or attacks. On the everyday, maybe they do kidnapping gigs or whatever it is, or whatever terror attacks they carry out. At least it will seem so. So and Nigeria, and just like any country, Nigeria has struggled with crime in general. So there's also that in the mix. But some of the the main issue right now that is in the media is a real issue. But it's the sometimes when the US media says things like you Christian Muslims are killing Christians, it plays into the propaganda that is already in their media, which is another story. And Muslims in our country become defensive and want to say, oh, we are not killing Christians, or this is not happening. Well, there is something that is happening, and that something is very clear. um, so I wanted to point that out. Also, there is also something while talking to some of my Muslim friends, both in Nigeria and elsewhere, I have realized that some of this is not it's not religion based. It's more like history and tradition. For instance, the Fulanis came to Nigeria in the very early 19th century through a jihad by, I think, Usman Dan Fodio or something like that. So, and some of them, there are a large population of those group and those grazers who migrated, and through some of the things they do now, just beside the organization of Boko Haram, is is sort of something. I don't know, like there is something with their history, and maybe some kind of their being against Western education. Some they are just something with I'm just saying killing and radicalization in every religion, in every tradition, in every religion is more traditional than it is based on their faith. If you think about it, it's more playing into people's history or their tradition, or some things that they have imbibed over the years culturally, than it is based on the people's the faith of some of these large groups. Because if you think about Muslims who live in Southern Europe, they are not that kind of radical. If you think about Muslims who live some other places in the world, they do not support radicalization, that kind of thing. Also, I wanted to point out that the people's perspective who matter in this particular conversation, most especially, is the perspective of people who are being killed. Now, we can stay here and argue all we want, but we are all living in very cozy neighborhoods, and nobody's going to break in our doors in the night to come and kill us. But the families and the friends of people who are being slaughtered, who are being displaced, who are being massacred, it is their opinion right now that matter the most. I know we are worried. of many things. I am worried as well of US invasion, of US milking our resources, of us losing our sovereignty, but people are dying. And their perspective is very important in this conversation. And that's what I wanted to point out. And also, the Nigerian government has not looked very capable. I'm trying very hard to not say compromise, but they have not looked very capable when it comes to these issues of insecurity, when it comes to these issues of of protecting those who are being killed as well. We've heard cases where people, whistleblowers, say that our military positions are being sabotaged, our military is being underfunded on purpose, that there are generals as well as politicians who are in cahoots with these murderers, with these killers, with these terrorists. I don't know how true that is. This is not verified, but you don't expect a Fulani terrorist or some kind of radicalized Boko Haram member to come and say, "Oh, this person is the one funding me." But these are things that has come out of me whistleblowers. We all know, and I have been several times while taking Uber rides or boat rides to military people who have who are driving me as Uber drivers, sometimes who open up and tell me, as I say, see what's going on. This is not helping out. We are not being paid. A military person fighting in Sambisa forest ends up getting paid 50,000 naira a month. And the 50,000 naira can't even transport him on a one-way bus transport to his hometown after fighting. And that is a really sad problem, and it's real. It happens. So we do need help. We are in a desperate situation. Nigerians in general are kind, very good people, Christians and Muslims. When we are not under pressure, when we are not being when we are not put under political
Sorry,
pressure
Mr. Willie.
or desperately
Mr. Willie, I'm going to come in, please. Can you move to my family, sir, please? Now, please, guys, when I raise my hand, it's just to let you know that you need to round up. We have others requesting for the mic, and I would like to give everybody the opportunity. I know we have a lot we want to say, but let's try, if we can, please, minimize it and just go straight to the point, carry everybody along. Tomorrow again, hopefully, I will still be here. I will continue the conversation. Please, I'm begging you guys, right? I've been here since I went to bed last time, the past 3 days, 3:30 in the morning. I don't want to stay here late. So straight to the point, come back again, make your speech, and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful submission. Mr. Yusuf, you have the mic, please. Go ahead. Mr. Yusuf, you have the mic. I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much, Mindset and everybody. Um, a lot of the times, I want to say that we've been intellectualizing the subject such that we have shifted away from what got that kind of decision from the Americans in the first place. And the subject is that for almost 2 decades, there have been mass killings of Christians in different parts of Nigeria, especially Nigeria's middle belt and even the northeast, by Islamist groups. And for these years, the attitude of the Nigerian government has done nothing, especially from 2015, other than enable not just the growth of these groups, but how emboldened they are. I mean, prior to 2015, when the APC came, it is unlikely that you would have a terrorist drive on a federal road and sit in a community and hold a meeting in the presence of the victim, the husbands of women he has raped, in the presence of armed military men, in the presence of monarchs, in the presence of Islamic clerics, and then go back to wherever he came from. You couldn't have conceived that prior to 2015. But over the years, there have been killings and killings and killings. And for the 8 years that he was in power, many people didn't know what was happening, even in Southern Kaduna. Many people didn't care about what was happening in Benue. So let me just chip in this one. you would realize that the entire narrative is aimed at just shutting down the notion of a genocide. The simple reason is because once it is identified as a genocide, it is not just the United States, but a foreign country, not necessarily the US, has the moral and legal responsibility to not only come in and stop the genocide, but to punish those who are responsible for it. So internationally, it's like that. And what has been happening for almost 2 decades now is clearly there is no way you could define it differently from a genocide. Now, the singular fact that people are struggling hard to just deny, because the whole, you see, when you find most Muslims saying Muslims also die, Muslims also die, it's not naturally supposed to be a welcome idea, such that they would say Muslims also die. Thank God some people are interested in helping. Let's work together and deal with these people. But the only time they talk about Muslims also die is to simply say it is a lie, there is no Christian genocide. So you ask, why is there the denial of a Christian genocide? It's simply because it's not just a matter of giving military aid or teaching Nigerians anything on how to crush the terrorists, but it's the fact that this time around, identified as a genocide, they are tracing, or the law is coming hard on those who are responsible for it. And a lot of people keep saying there are alternative ways the US can come in and all of that. I'm not really sure. I haven't checked that. But the amount of funds that Nigeria has received from the US from 2015 till date, I don't know any other African countries that has enjoyed it. But then, like I said, I'm not. I don't have all of the details. But I think Nigeria tops that chart. It's not just financial, but in terms of military aid. But the question you would ask yourself is, good luck, Jonathan, Obasanjo, none of them put together enjoyed either military aid, either military training, either financial aid from the Americans like Buhari did. And the primary aim of basically releasing those funds, as should have been, and those training, was to crush terrorism. But the reverse continued happening. The groups grew stronger. The group metamorphosed and became linked to international, to ISIS. The group spread, and then the government continuously sustained a narrative that the killers are just herders, they are not Islamists. Foreign nations, not just the United States, have all of these details. And all of them have aligned. Everybody has his own interest. It is only naive countries like Nigeria that did what they did in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and during the apartheid regime in South Africa, expecting nothing in return. In today's world, even Nigeria will only engage itself in helping any country if there is something in turn for it. So it's not the end of the world. So when people keep saying the US should help with military intelligence, the US should help with this, they have been doing it for more than 2 decades. Nigeria has been at the top of benefiting from those things, and it has done nothing. So it's a clear case of genocide. The whole narrative that is coming is simply because the criminals that have sponsored it understand that this time around, it is not only the foot soldiers in the forest that are going to die, they will also pay for it. And that is why all of this denial is. So I would just say, let us not shift the conversation to the story of whether countries are interested in resources or not, and focus on the fact that women, children have been massacred genocidally for almost 20 years, and that needs to stop. Thank you so much, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for your submission. Now, if there's anybody on this platform who has followed this thing at least in the first for the last 5 years, maybe more, but I would say the time I realized, get to know what you have done is yourself on this platform. Now, does this argument that we want Nigerians are happy for the America to come in and help, but some persons like we're not comfortable having boots on ground. Do you support the idea of the U.S. military being on ground in Nigeria? Do you think it's something that we need if that's going to help? Do you think that's what we need? Mr. Yusuf, if you don't mind responding to that question.
All right. And I don't necessarily believe that Trump's notion of engaging simply means they are going to flood the country with the military because they are not ignorant of the complexities of the country. And you will also understand that it is the killing, it is the genocide that they hope to end. And then the response he gave to Nigeria was that if the government, the perception is that it is the government that is refusing to do it, which is basically true because you don't explain a situation where you are seeing terrorists. There is a video where you see men of the Nigerian army in the midst of these guys on their bikes, giving signal and telling people to clear the road for them to pass. They shouldn't engage them. So it's clear. So I don't think it is a matter of bringing people to boots, putting boots on the ground. I think it is more of something that will be surgical. Surgical in the sense that it will take out the terrorists from their location, and we could see that they have been trying to. I mean, the borders in Niger have been fully locked, whether from their borderline with Nigeria or from the other parts, Chad as well, and all of Chad particularly, and all of that. So they are beginning to move around because their sponsors understand that it's going to change. So I suspect the likelihood of surgical airstrikes, and beyond that, possibly targeted, strikes to unlikely even the sponsors that are in high places. That basically is what I'm looking at. But the idea of putting, bringing a lot of manpower and all of that, I don't see. I don't actually advise that route, but I would fully welcome surgical strikes, and then I fully welcome targeting the sponsors, which is basically possible, which is likely eventuality.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys. I could have abandoned every one of you. No, I have not. There's a reason I'm asking these questions. Please, I hope you guys understand. Now, Mr. Yusuf, the last question before I pass the mic to the next speaker. Lindsey Graham has tweeted about this, and Mike Pompeo have tweeted about this. What do you make of those tweets? Where do you think this is heading? Do you think there's a chance that this will not happen? Do you foresee a situation whereby the government persuade the American government just to back down and give them time? But looking at the persons looking at the speech from Lindsey Graham, what do you make of it?
Well, there are certain voices that when they jump into conversation, you don't take them for granted anymore at certain points. So I think at this point, it is almost a situation where they would say to the Nigerian president, the ball is in your court. And by the ball is in your court, I simply mean you are not unaware of the intelligence regarding these killings. So you would either act, even if you don't engage the terrorist on ground, but possibly with the list you have, regardless of how connected or distant the culprits are from, the government. Possibly that would mean demonstrating that I'm ready for business, which means we would start seeing, if they are playing in government, we start seeing suspensions, we start seeing arrests, we start seeing eliminations, and then we start seeing airstrikes on these people. So unless you demonstrate that completely, the 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 policy of the government has radically shifted in regards to its dealing with the terrorists and whoever it is that is in government or whoever it is that is highly placed that is responsible for it. That might be the only currency that will hold anything. But I think anything less than a radical change in the attitude of the government towards the terrorists in the bush and either clerics or politicians, regardless of how close they are to, corridors of power. Once there is a deficit in that drastic change, it's not going to change anything. But because at this point, I think it is already a sealed deal. We can only be looking at the manner of, how they will tactically engage. But I don't think at this point that there is a chance anything is going to change, especially if the president does not, take advantage of the opportunity at his disposal.
Yes, I agree with you. As I said to the other speaker, that I'm a little bit worried because Lindsey Graham is not somebody you just take for granted. He is GOP and GOP is Trump, and that's where we are. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Igwe, you have the mic. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, sir.
Oh, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mindset. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. So, I think I want to start from the fact that our media try somehow to change the narrative of the tweet from President Trump, and that's what people have been running with since 2 days to and past 48 hours now. The tweet came in two batch, and he specifically mentioned about like helping the government solve the situation, providing the assistance necessary. Then the last part of it is if he doesn't want to do it that way, then they can put boots on ground. And everybody left the first two things that he said, where he said about the assistance and everything, and running with narrative of putting boots on ground, and that's been the problem. Now everybody's saying they want to take our resources and all that, and I think it's from our media. Maybe from the current government, that's the way they wanted to paint it, and it's not doing good to the people, to the victims of this terrorism. You understand? Because these people have been crying out for so long. It's not like it's not as if that it's not today that US started talking about terrorism in Nigeria. It's not today. In fact, in the last time Trump was the president of like before this new tenure, he met Buhari and asked him why is he getting president in Nigeria. He asked him, and he provided the assistance with him before the new the Democratic Party came in and he started again and all that. So this narrative of you have a motive now, why now, why now? No, they have been talking about these things for a very long time. In fact, there's this guy on my timeline that I've known him for since like 2018 or thereabout. He has been I think he grew up in Jos and he has been tweeting about this killing, posting pictures as of 2018. And that 2018 he was studying like Trump and most of these US Congress men on these tweets. So it's not a new thing. And people are now acting as if US just found interest in Nigeria. No, people have been talking about it for so long, so long. In fact, like a few months ago, the Pope have to like tweet about killings in Nigeria. The Pope in Vatican City. So you see that it's because of the way our government has treated this thing. That's why it's gaining this kind of momentum, and it's a positive thing for the victims because now at least the terrorists can at least take a break. They know the light is on them, so those victims now can at least sleep at night. But what I found out that most of us from the southern part of Nigeria that is living comfortable in Abuja, in Lagos, in Onitsha, anywhere we are, like we are not looking at this thing from the victim perspective. We are just talking about resources, 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 but nobody's talking about the people that have died, the people that have lost sisters, brothers, even lost their child, pregnant women that we are killed and all that. Nobody's talking about it. You're talking about resources. To me, I don't care about the resources. I care about the people that have died. Those people should be the one we are talking about. Those people should be the one to say if they want Trump to bring his military men or not. It's not us enjoying in our comfort zone. You don't have any problem where you stay in Lekki, or you don't have a problem where you stay in Abuja, or you want somebody in Benue State in Nasarawa to not to like at least get a relief from what is going on. So I think the way we are pushing the narrative of putting boots on ground, putting boots on ground is not the main thing. The main thing is now to hold the government accountable, not telling everybody that Trump is not coming to save. I can't explain to someone in pain that Trump is not coming to save him because he will not understand it. Because even Trump is not coming to save him. Nigerian government is not saving him or the person. So the way we are pushing this narrative of put on ground is not it doesn't sit well with me. And even the US have like other speakers of the US have given us assistance many times. I think I still remember I watched a video where someone was saying I think, during the Chibok girls, they were supposed to like go in and get the girls. They were supposed to gas the terrorists. But when they gas the terrorists, they find that they were wearing masks. So it was still intel from the Nigerian army that told the terrorists, look at what we are planning to do. So you cannot say the US have not given us assistance. They have given us enough assistance. Even some from the assistance, the USA that Trump Council, some of our politicians looted from it. I think that's part of the reason it was cancelled. So I don't want US to like put boots on ground like the way they say it, but from the victim perspective, I don't think if I'm the person living in Benue or Nassau, I don't think I care about any resources at the moment. So that's what I want to contribute at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Mr. Ezekiel, you have the mic, sir.
Thank you. Mindset. Mine is at least is as I have said most of the things that I wanted to say. The truth is, our government, the current APC, have not shown competency and readiness to eliminate or to degrade or to end the killings of Nigeria across every state in Nigeria currently. I don't support Trump foot on ground, but he did not say something like that. I don't know why most people interpret it that way. What I see from him, he said Nigerian government need to wake up and do the needful, or else they will come in and take the terrorists. So if there's anybody that should be angry or bitter now, he should be angry with our government who failed to protect us. Because if our government show capacity or show determination to eliminate these murderers, these terrorists, we will not even have this conversation of Trump even anything or trying to even threaten or whatever he said in his speech. For me, what I would love to see is to see the Tinubu-led government wake up and face these issues. But unfortunately, they are proving Trump right, because today our vice president, our senate president, and all the most influential persons in his government are in Bayelsa State receiving a governor for moving into the APC. When we're having issues like this, one could have expected by today or yesterday or even on Friday, the president could have given a presidential speech. You could have, like, we could have seen something happening. But my own happiness is, even if Trump, he at this point said, okay, I am backing down, I'm giving the Nigerian government 1 month. To me, at least for the fact that since this killing started, if Nigerian protest, they are ignored. If other opposition leader make a tweet or make a press statement on the killings, people call their name, ridicule them, insult them. When you hold space like this and say government need to stop the killing, people come here to tell you there is nothing happening. People deny the undeniable. So for me, for the fact that the tweet from Donald Trump has made presidency beginning to even dish out, even the propaganda they are dishing out alone means that they have acknowledged that there's a problem. I hope they will live to their expectation, that, because for me, the number one priority of government, that in fact, the reason why I want a government is just to protect me and my property, and that should extend to every Nigerian. But I don't think other people or other global powers will sit and watch when Nigerians are killed on a daily basis and government are doing virtually nothing to end it, or they are virtually doing nothing to show that they are not with these murderers, or they are not complicit with these murderers. Last few months, I mean last few weeks, the government of is it Niger or Cameroon said they're gonna release the list of the terrorist sponsors. There was a lot of diplomatic movement between Nigeria and that country. Till today, nothing happened. We know we also had some few years ago when Saudi Arabia said they have shared the finances of Boko Haram with the Buhari government, which was also APC government. What happened? Till today, nothing. In all these killing, till today, the killers or the financiers have not been prosecuted. We still see them, they hold meetings with our government, even being surrounded with our military, with our police. So for us, the victim on ground, for we feel government is complicit in this madness. And for us, our own understanding is Trump is not coming on ground with his boot. He will eliminate these terrorists from their location if he intends to do that. If he doesn't want to do that, the least he could have done, maybe with his tweet that we understand, is for him to seize the asset of these finances of these murderers and restrict their movement and maybe put some sanction on them. But as far as I'm concerned, there is no victim in Nigeria right now that will not accept any help, underline that, any help to end murderers, because we have seen consistently community are wiped out, people are killed, government do nothing, only give press statement in some cases if they give. But in most cases, what we see is they play politics and propaganda with everything. I've seen now Bola is claiming he's a pastor. I don't know when he become a pastor, but I believe till today Bola cannot go to his village in Southern Borno. And this is clear over the day. This keep happening every day. We keep coming. People will still gaslight you. All we want is government should stop killing Nigerians on their own soil. With or without Donald Trump, we believe the government have all that it takes to do it, but they have refused technically to do what they ought to do. Rather than dealing with the problem, they dish out propaganda every blessed day. All we call for is Tinubu, instruct your boys on ground, which is your military, which you command, to stop killing innocent Nigerians. The Muslim Ummah, I don't believe they have a problem. If anybody want to kill the killers that has been projected to be killing both Muslims and Christians, if that is the case, then we all, whether we are Christians or we are Muslim, as Nigerians, we all welcome any means that these murderers will be eliminated amongst our midst. Thank you, Mindset.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ezekiel, for your submission. The truth of the matter is, as far as I'm concerned regarding this particular issue, you are not going to fight the United States with propaganda. That's not going to happen. So anyone thinking that there's going to be a propaganda and everything to stop them, it's not going to happen. I remember when we started this whole topic, I keep saying to people, it can be good in everything, to be a conspiracy theorist, and you gotta. It's not about this. American way of politics is different. Donald Trump way of politics is different. The Republican way of politics is different. And when you see some certain voices, you know, in the Republican, then you know we have a problem. When I say we have a problem, it's not as them coming in is the problem, but just telling us that don't believe that you're going to use propaganda and everything. There are people that when they speak, you realize that we're going to listen. And for every single day, it's not getting better, right? When I mean it's not getting better with those who are using propaganda. Then it's not going to work. For every single day, voices are coming in, they are coming together, they are putting things together. As we on this platform right now, I will not be surprised if anything happens tomorrow because of the individuals who are involved in this. It's most likely they are going to do what they want to do. And I really like the point that some of us on this platform has made is that the government are not even taking this serious. That's the thing. That's the thing, because a serious government would do something. Daniel Bola, I'm not sure if he's a pastor. It was 3 days ago I realized he called himself Pastor Bola. One of the reasons we are where we are is because people like Daniel Bola messed everything. People like Reno Mokri, they messed everything up for the government. And they're still putting him on television to continue to represent them. That is how insensitive and how clueless this particular government is, in terms of the problem. It's 13 minutes past 12. I promised myself that I want to go to bed early. On that note, I'll pass the mic to Mr. Nicholas. Nicholas, you have the mic, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindset. Thank you, everyone. Good evening and good morning, everyone, depending on where you're speaking from. Mindset, thank you so much for the opportunity. I believe you can hear me. So, question is, do we have insecurity in Nigeria? And the answer is yes. Insecurity is real and is even becoming worse, especially under this administration. As I speak with you, my parents are in a foreign land somewhere along the Taraba Benue axis, from Takum, and they've been displaced from their ancestral home right now. My father had stroke since 2016, and my mother has been suffering with that man. And right now, they are not in their home. They are running for their lives from X-Men. 2 years ago, one of my in-laws was butchered. Um, 3 years ago, one of my cousins was also butchered. It would start um, issues bordering kettles and entering farm, and then before you know it, it becomes two quarrels. And before you know it, results to them coming over the night, burning down the house, killing anyone they see, and that's it. The people there are in great trouble. There's nobody to help them. The government is not even recognize their existence. So there's insecurity in Nigeria. It's real. If you're not yet a victim, either wait for your turn or pray you'll never see it. Um, do we, the answer is yes. They will be coming to help us. Currently, because I'm a victim, though not directly, I could answer that I'm indifferent because I don't know what that might mean. But there is saying that we are drowning, even a floating wood could represent hope, and even a shadow cast in water could seem like something to stay. So in situations like that, just like what the speaker has spoken, if you're a victim, if you have experienced it, you really know what it feels like to be in a country where the government does not recognize your existence, where the government does not recognize if you live. The roads are very bad. The people there are peasant farmers. They live only on farms, and it's unfortunate that even the farms for the past 10 years it has become disastrous. You don't go to the farm, even the little they're able to do, the Fulanis will run into it, eat everything. You don't have the, you can't say anything. Basically. You just watch them eat up your crop and go because there's nothing you can do. If you start anything, you're dead, your house is burnt down, and everything is gone. So I've been following through the reactions everything for the past few days. Um, so far, what we've been doing reactionary, like Nigerians will know how to irrationally react to situations. That's what a lot of people have been doing, and the media is fueling a lot of propaganda about it. Those that have not been, who are waiting to be victims, are also turning the whole stuff uh, upside down. Some because they're enjoying the government presently, they don't think about what tomorrow might be for them when they're no longer there. They're not thinking in that way. Um, I think part of the reaction could be because of Trump's unpredictability. You never can tell if what he says he is going to act upon it or not. And because of that unpredictability, a lot of people are skeptical what's going to happen in the next couple of days and they're right. Um, but but this is my opinion. I think Trump had already achieved half of what he wanted. He needed Nigeria's government attention. He's getting it. You might see the media shouting those attack dogs, speaking on behalf of the government, according to them. But in reality, that man, the president, is already communicating with Americans as to how he'll be out of this place. So I'm sure that Zeta is going to do something about it, or something is going to happen. We don't know, but we hope that it's to be for the interest of Nigerians. Um, the next thing that Trump will be looking for is to strike a deal. We know he's a businessman. So I think there was time he echoed when Buhari was in government. There was a time he echoed about issues with Nigeria and we went to visit him. Now, there was rumor in the media that he would like to visit him. I don't know how true that is. I'm reading again that that's been aborted. I don't know if that's going to end up. But Trump has achieved 50% of what he was looking for. He's now looking for the other 50%. And as a businessman, he's definitely going to get what he wants. Uh, Either way, he's going to get what he wants. Um, well, I don't know. The only thing, if I'm to advise Nigerian government, I would advise that they do something about this insecurity because it is real and Nigerians are dying. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mindset, for the opportunity. I appreciate it. It's the first time I'm speaking here, and wish all of us the best. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas. Very sad to hear your story about your parents, and wish you well. We hope things will turn out, well for yourself and every other person who who have gone through in a this difficult period because of insecurity in Nigeria. Now, let me quickly react to some of the things that you said, and I've had a lot of people talk about it. Trump is a businessman, yes, and people will make reference to the time of Buhari. Buhari's time is a little bit different, and I'll tell you why. Buhari had we had an ambassador, we had an ambassador, and the diplomatic way of handling the issue, Buhari did very well. I'm not a fan of him, but they were able to get the ball rolling. Unfortunately for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we do not have any ambassador in America. There's no communication whatsoever. A few days ago, Daniel Bola traveled to Washington. I'm not sure who he met in Washington. So we do not have any channel to communicate. Even if there's going to be an agreement reached, we don't have anybody as it stands right now. Maybe as we're having this conversation, perhaps they'll put somebody out there. But in the last few days, there was nothing there, absolutely nothing. Now you heard that there will be a meeting. There was no meeting. There wasn't going to be a meeting. It just, you can't fight this thing with propaganda. You can't fight this thing, with bloggers and what have you, and those who are on your side who turn against you with conspiracy theory. Not America, not this Trump America. This guy told you that they're going to bomb Iran. He told them they're coming, and he did it. Right? I am not here to amplify that Trump should bomb Nigeria, but as a country and as a government, this government has failed. They have not, done what they need to do, and they are, I do not see anything to say that these guys are not going to strike. My thing is, let's find a way to minimize the casualties if there's going to be any. I do not think we need boots on the ground. But thank you very much, sir, for your submission. As I pass the mic to Mr. Tijani. Tijani, you have the mic, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Mindset. Good evening, Mindset. Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Lately, we've actually been talking about Trump coming in, the thousand to eliminate the terrorists very fast, easy, and quick. But then again, at the same time, they also gave the government a chance to do what they are supposed to do. For somebody who is serious, one thing, I think this is actually the very first time one of the dullest of dullest is actually ruling us, and not just him, his supporter and every single person around them. They are very, very unserious with what they've been doing lately. They talk more about politics, their party, and everything, trying to think maybe Nigeria will become a one-party state, trying to favor reward system and everyone. Now look at the state that these people have all come to APC. Okay, fine, you guys are in APC. With the masses, we are not saying anything. We actually voted on you, the party you belong to, but now you guys have all come. We are not saying anything. It's just by something like this happen. Just like your mother now telling you it's better you put your house in order before I come in. Or just like your father telling you it's better you just fix the house. Put things you are supposed to put in place. If not, you're going to pack out from that house. And when you pack out, I'll put it in place and I'll give it to your younger brother. You get that kind of friend, right? Now, automatically, if the bulb is spoiled, you are supposed to buy a new one. You don't even need somebody to tell you this is where you are seeing. Now, this is the case of Nigeria. They've been playing politics. If you want to win the people, if you want to win the masses good, you do the right thing. You don't wound people with propaganda and politics all the time with fake statistics. We are seeing what is going on. People are actually tired in this country. I believe people in Abuja and Lagos, those living fine, those being fine, some of those people shouting about resources. I believe it because they are living fine. They are not in state. Oimini, as of now, as we are talking, people are actually dying in Oimini local government in Benue State. You can check that up and verify. I have a friend who told me some people just moved in not quite long and they started killing their people since yesterday because this is a brand new day already. You get the point. Now the governor, the governors of all states, automatically they are the chief, what's it called, the chief security officer of the state, right? The governors of all states, the commissioner of the state, and every other person. It's not just the NSA meeting with the service chief and all of them sitting in a room, no just and nothing, no aid to put things up, no, like you get it just as if they are there discussing about the person and every other thing. They are not serious, very unserious people. The military posted something and the video is actually 3 years ago. I even have it on my phone before I saw it. I was about saying something before I started seeing people talking about it. You get the point? Now the president now knowing such a thing like this is happening. The world now is watching. It's no longer you versus your local politics with your local supporters doing your normal propaganda, trying to play both the one in power and the opposition. So nobody, so you must do your 8 years. The first thing you are supposed to focus on is the governance. You just wake up, those people that have been negotiating, you act as if you don't even know them anymore. You go out there, you don't. One thing about I could remember my uncle. Yeah, Nigeria was such a strong country way back. I could remember my uncle, right? My grandfather, right? My grandfather brother. So I could remember those days they went to Liberia. Those days they went to some of these places. ECOMOG. Nigeria was one of the strongest countries. Nigeria was one of the strongest African countries way back when they went to ECOMOG, South Africa, outside and the rest. And there was a day when this negotiation of it started when I visited him one day and I showed him. I didn't even show him. I was reading. They don't negotiate with Boko Haram. It was like negotiate with terrorists. Those days they don't. The moment they find out you are a terrorist, all they need is just go ahead. The data, as far as the data is 100% certain, these people, okay, fine. These people are in what is called, these people are in okay, no local. They just go there, all of them, they waste them off. For these days, they start playing politics with everything. Now they are saying things about it. When people are coming out, the Muslim are dying, the Christian are dying. Nobody is arguing that part. That is why insecurity is affecting everybody. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to come out, tell these people this is not even time to play opposition, time to tell the opposition leaders to come and do what they are supposed to do. You guys voted for them. You guys played your propaganda, whether it's been rigging, whether it was the rigging whatsoever. It's not. We don't care. You should do the right thing. Call your service chief. Call the governors of the state. Tell them they need to come. Tell them what is going on. See, one thing is everybody knows who the bad boys is in their area. If you are staying in a place, you know the bad person. If they should steal your property today, you know the person you can meet and tell him, bros, I know if you farm, as some of your boys come to farm. So this is not the time. So since they are the government, they are supposed to go after these people at this stage. Do what they are supposed to do. I am not praying Trump to come in, but to be very honest with you, they have the data. I believe with what Pastor posted, right? There is already somebody else going after him. Now, to show you how unserious the people are, you are holding a position. This is no longer the age of holding a position, you just sit there, you don't want people to reach out to you. You are not a boss over anybody. You are a public servant to us. You are there to serve us. We are supposed to reach out. As a matter of fact, your act is supposed to. As a matter of fact, when things are going on, we are supposed to reach out to you at any time. Sir, this is what is going on. What is the way forward? You get. This is not the time you think nobody should reach out to you. You don't have a social media space. You are just there. We don't even know. We don't even know if verified. We don't even know if it is you. Some accounts are parody, so we don't even know. So it, it's time we start moving towards that civilization too. As at the time of Goodluck Jonathan, we know where our GDP is, but today it's just propaganda. The truth is we don't even know how our GDP is. In Zamfara State, there is code in Zamfara State. You get, and we don't even know if Nigeria, we don't even know those people mining the gold in Zamfara State. The rare earth mineral they are talking about, I believe it's just recent some people actually know there is rare earth mineral. But there are people that have been talking about it for a very long time. Before all of these bandits actually started in Zamfara State, it started because of the gold. Yeah. Yes, the government are the ones. We don't even need to pretend anymore. The government, you see this APC government, they are the ones sponsoring the bandits. We don't even need to hide or play games anymore. They are the ones sponsoring, not even, we don't call them bandits. Terrorists, they are the ones sponsoring and doing most of these things. That is why they don't
sorry, Mr. Tijani, I've got to come in because I did raise my hand just to let you know that your time is up, but unfortunately, perhaps we didn't say it. So thank you for your submission. On that note, I'll close the mic to Fatima, I think it's your name. Fatima, you have the mic. Good morning.
Okay, good morning to you, mindset. Okay, so I'm going to first of all start by believing that no man is like a ocean of knowledge, but then there are two things you cannot be a layman in, which is history and politics, because they affect the fundamental of they affect the fundamental aspects of our life, from literally how we breathe, eat, walk, talk, live, clothe, feed, everything. So there are two points to talk about when discussing this whole matter, I believe, is first of all the Nigerian government and then the United States government. The United States government is actually acting based on like their foreign policy, which is to promote religious freedom all over the world, and this is due to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the Bill of Rights under the UDHR, particularly the ICCPR. So the particular act they are acting on is the International Religious and Freedom Act, which was enacted in the United States in 1998. This act actually contains everything. It establishes a commission which monitors the world countries and everything, and then drafts up a report which they submit to the president, and then the president goes over the reports, does his own findings, and then he chooses like if there is the gravity of infringement on religious freedom is high within a country, the president puts that particular country on the CPC list. So the subsequent actions that follow a country falling onto the CPC list is presidential action, and this presidential action cuts across economic sanctions, political ties being cut either by the United States itself or by countries they can influence to also. So mind you, it's not only the United States now that can join this, should I say, movement against the Nigerian government because of the genocide that is going on, because of the Christian genocide that is going on. They can get themselves to do it and get other countries to do it. Either economic sanctions, it cuts across economic, political, cultural, whatever it is, withdrawal of aids, anything you can think of. And then this is meant to happen within 80 to 90, 80 to 190 days of the country being put on the CPC list. Afterwards, the section, I believe it was section 405 in the Act, the president is meant to meet with the government of that particular nation. So meaning he's meant to meet with someone within our government within our country. But then considering there's no ambassador, high commissioner, or whoever to represent us, the ideal situation would have been our country as soon as we were announced to be on the CPC, someone's physically going to the White House and trying to lobby to get a meeting with the president so as to discuss and calm down matters. But then obviously the Nigerian government is rather focused on politics and not governance. They're focused on going to bring in senators and other governors to their political party or whatever it is they want to call it, rather than the actual governance of the country. And it's manifesting, it's showing. There's within it is I do not believe this have ever happened within 2 years of assuming like the presidential seat, such like instability and insurgency taking over a country where it is one thing after the other. But then where your priorities lie, like it's showing where the government's priorities lie. So there's meant to be a discussion between the president of the United States and the government of that particular nation. Afterwards, the president can choose to waiver these sanctions or whatever action he decides to go ahead with, or he can reinforce and put more, um, engage in more actions. What I believe is of particular concern in this whole situation right now is the language or the approach to which they are coming at it with Nigeria being on the CPC list. It will interest you to know that since the enactment of the IRFA, the International Religious Freedom Act, every single country that have been put on the CPC list, we have countries like China, we have countries like India, we have countries like Saudi, North Korea, Myanmar, and so on the CPC list. Every single country that has been on the CPC list since 1998. If they are not a country that is like backed by like massive military prowess or huge natural resources like they are rich and they handle their affairs well, like China, Saudi, they have at the end of the day, interestingly, fall into humanitarian catastrophes within the country. Every single country that has fallen into this has at the end of the day been a victim of humanitarian catastrophes. This might be this might be a coincidence or this might be just something, but I believe it's something to note and think about. And then there's something I believe the tweet you put up on the Jumbotron by Lindsey Graham. I do not even think that's the particular tweet of concern. If you can see the Department of War, the Secretary of War, the tweets he actually is putting out is, I believe, what is particularly what we should be concerned about. He speaks, he says they are on standby and they're ready to go to war to protect their Christian brothers which are being genocided in Nigeria. That is not international relation matters, foreign matters are matters that are very sensitive and one that you have to tread carefully when engaging in them. So it is very interesting and should I say bold for the Department of War within the United States to come out and put out tweets like that. But then at the end of the day, this is no one's fault but the Nigerian government. The way they are handling matters and the way governance or the lack thereof is going on within this country is the whole cause of this. The government really needs to sit up, do something, tackle insecurity within Nigeria, whether they like it or not, because it is becoming the international community has an eye on us. They are out for us. So if we do not tackle the matter, it will in return be us being on the receiving end. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fatima, for your submission. Now, I do understand where you're coming from. That we should be worried more of the tweet by Peter Henkes, right? But here lies the problem for me. Why I put this one on Jumbotron. When it comes to the GOP, the Republican Party, there is a pattern. I mean, I've followed them for a long time, so they have a pattern. Now, for you to know where they are leaning, when you see some senators or lawmakers speaking in one direction, you know there is a problem. I mean, Trump put out what he put out. The Department of War responded. Obviously, they were going to respond. But if you have persons like Lindsey Graham, you wanted to know where they're leaning, and wherever they lean, is where Trump is going to lean, and that's where the Republican, that's where they're leaning. And if you read his tweets, for me, I've said this thing a couple of times on this platform. Um, when I look at a color like purple, I don't really want to talk about see purple. I want to see how do we get to purple. So I'm just going to mix blue and red, and I get to purple. This tweet by Lindsey Graham is the one that worries me. I'm not saying that the ones from others and the one shouldn't be worried about it, but that's how my mind works. This particular tweet is the one I'm worried about. Trump tweet, yes, it worried me because of it, but Lindsey Graham is not somebody that will put something and one cannot read meaning into it. So I'm really worried. And you know, hopefully, hopefully, we'll find a way to eradicate this terrorism, right? Without Nigerian citizens suffering more. This is my thing, right? They can come, they can help us. We will need the help. We need help. We really need help. We want to eliminate this terrorism. Anybody who is crying that they are coming to kill themselves, no. I want the United States to help Nigerians to eliminate these terrorists wherever they are, whether underneath the bridge, even on this platform, if they're here, they should come and kick them out. That is my own thing, right? But I'm worried. I do not think we need boots on the ground. That's my thing. But in terms of them coming to help us, I'm all for it. But based on what Lindsey Graham is saying on this tweet, it would appear that most likely we might have boots on the ground. I might be wrong, and I want to be wrong in this because I do not think we need it. So let me not bore you guys. Quickly, let me pass the mic to Lenin. Lenin, you have the mic quickly, sir, because I really want to go to bed early today. Lenin, you have the mic.
Okay. Master, thank you very much. And good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone, depending on where you are listening from. All right, then my contribution is just like you see, there's one thing I want us to understand um is that all these theories and all these propagandas theories you are coming up with, I don't think it will go well with the Americans. My reason is this: they are not like the Nigerian police force or the Nigerian military men that before they say anything or they are, I think they must have been gathering their information before they come out to say whatever they want to say. And I remember that Trump also during the Trump first time era, he put Nigeria on this CPC list also before maybe with the wisdom of Buhari and his team then we are removed. But now this has happened again. First, I want to look at these things from three dimensions. First, Nigerian government is having a kind of a denial of genocide. We are running at a denial. Secondly, our problem is why now? Maybe thirdly, we don't want boots on the ground. That means, and these things are very, very simple from my own point of view. First, if you are denying there is a genocide, there is a problem. We're already on the CPC list. Why do you think there is a denial? If maybe from the Christian perspective, they've consistently maybe petitioned the United States, maybe from all these years, they've been sending down their petitions, and the United States have been at least hearing that side. Oh, and they've given evidence, maybe video, different evidences. But the other side, maybe from the Muslim side, there is no, you are not complaining, you are not giving evidence. So United States have they wrong with the information they have. They wrong with the information they have that okay, there is a Christian genocide. So what are we supposed to be doing as a Nigerian government? Is to present our own information why we think, oh, it is insecurity everywhere. It does not know Muslim or Christians or animists or pagan. But Nigerian government is not doing that, but they are just trying to deny it. Why can you deny what they have their facts on? You can't deny it because they already have their facts, their data on it for a period of years. So why are you denying it now? Just tell them your own side of story. But you are not doing that. But you only say no, it does not happen. There's nothing like genocide, there's nothing like Christian genocide. It's a big phantom lie. There is genocide. But you have to give your own information, your own part, your own angle. Maybe they've only heard from one side. You did not give your own narration. But now everybody's taking out that it's not genocide, it's both Muslims, Christian, we understand that also. But they are looking at the facts they have, the data they have, the people that have petitioned them, or people that have been crying to them for help. And they are coming out to say, okay, stop this. Instead of the Nigerian government, okay, now, thank you for coming to help us. This is how we want you to help us, or this is how we think you can help us. But no, you are saying no, you are telling them there's no genocide, it's the wrong information, from wrong perspective. Secondly, you are saying, why now? Why won't it be now? Why won't it be now? When is the right time? Again, the suspicion of oh they want to come and steal our oil, they want different negotiation. Everybody just coming with different theories that is annoying me. We are not considering the victims. If your families or you have been part of these things, you'll be very happy now that oh finally God wants to intervene. You know that some villages have people cannot return to their villages. But we are here saying, oh, some people are being emotional. Why wouldn't they be emotional about this matter? Why wouldn't they be emotional? So my point is, Nigeria, look, this government of APC, sincerely speaking, I don't know. I don't know. They said Tinubu is a man that is master strategist. He knows how to select intellectuals. But sincerely speaking, this is the worst kind of appointees I've ever seen. I cannot close my eyes and open my eyes and see any man that is found among them. These are just analog analog appointees. I don't think it seems to go around with the 20 years Lagos governor, 20 years ago Lagos governor appointees or boys that surrounded himself with them. That was this smart by then. They just came out from school and they are still very smart. People that do not update themselves, they are not digital, they are just analog. He surrounds himself with a lot of people that sincerely speaking, this kind of I remember during the Jonathan time, you can open your eyes, when you close your eyes, this guy is sound. These are people in the government that are very sound. Now, nothing. They are supposed to be proactive in this matter. Since we have been hearing this issue, more of this genocide, which delegates, which Have you? The Nigerian government sent out their own delegate to go and tell their own side of stories? No, they didn't go and say their own side of story. But when Trump finally taking his action, we are not coming. We are reactionary. It does not. It's a lie. This is propaganda. He wants to come and steal our oil. Sincerely, which oil are we even talking about? Which deal are we talking about? Is it the oil that me and you are enjoying, or they are looting? Is it the mineral resources that me and you are enjoying, or they have been looting? Sincerely speaking, the point is this: let them stop the killing. Let the Nigerian government do the right thing. That's my point. Let me stop here.
Thank you very much. Learning, right? Learning experience. I believe that's your name. Thank you for your learning expert. Thank you for your submission. I've always believed that Bola Tinubu is still very good in terms of politics, not in governance. But it has been proven now that they are good in Nigerian local politics, not geopolitics. That's what it is. It has proven that they have nothing out there. That's absolutely nothing there. Because when this thing happened on the night, it's been there for over since 2020, right? So yes, we still have been following this for a long time. But when Ted Cruz reproduced this bill on the 9th of September, right? It took almost 1 month to talk about it. That is incompetence. That is madness. That is stupidity. No serious government will wait for 1 month to respond to it. And let me tell you what would make you feel upset about this government. Now, Benjamin Kanu, I heard him say we are going to put a team together and give them 28 days. I was going to say, because of the kind of people who have on this platform, sometimes you just want to say things that you're not going to be comfortable after listening to yourself. I'm thinking to myself, are these guys? They don't understand what's going on here. The first thing you do, you send people, start the conversation. Okay, we have a problem. Okay, but the data you have is from 2015 or something. This is what it is. Nothing. They were there hitting the gravel and doing whatever they're doing. For you to see the way these people are reacting to this, that they're not even serious about it. It doesn't matter to them. They were in Bayelsa today. I'm shocked that somebody approved that this thing that happened in Bayelsa should go. And the vice president was, yeah. Guys, I don't know. Maybe it's me. Seriously, I just don't know. I'm thinking to myself, are we? These guys, do you think this is a joke? Every single one of them back to their state, discussing with the undersigned Nigeria, and we must talk about it. But the persons or the individuals who we have, even though some of us did not vote for them, who are governing us, eating banga soup or whatever they're eating in Bayelsa State. This is people, and the United States senators and the government are looking at them and saying, "Look, can you see? They're not even taking this thing serious." I've never seen any. I've seen things that annoy me, but this thing today that they did in Bayelsa for allowing that whatever it is, playing politics with the lives of the people. Sometimes you just think to yourself, what a useless, what a bunch of lunatics. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to speak out. But lunatics. Nobody, no direction whatsoever. No plans whatsoever. Hence, Professor Bolaji was really upset with them. And they have not learned nothing from it. Absolutely nothing. Anyway, let me know about you guys. APC, they should try and do what they want to do. Mr. Dr. Usman, you have the mic, sir. Sorry, Dr. Usman, you have the mic.
Yeah, Mindset, can I speak in 10 minutes from now, please?
If I'm still here,
I'll raise my hand.
If I'm still here in 10 minutes, because I'm not here, I don't want to stay late today. But we'll see what happens. Justice, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, Mindset, your last submission really cracks me up. Sometimes it's good to release your personal thoughts, because in a way you speak from the heart, and you're not very far away from the truth, honestly. But anyway, yeah, this is hard talk. Yeah, Mindset, on the current situation of things, I would honestly say that it is high time that the US actually intervened. Okay, now the US has what it calls to deter and degrade. I think that is essentially or fundamentally what Donald Trump is looking at right now. Because look at how Riley Moore, the rep member Riley Moore, dealt with Kwankwaso today with his post, trying to all sound nationalistic and patriotic about Nigeria. In one breath, you say Nigeria is a sovereign nation and our affairs remain internal, and we're not supposed to be uh, we shouldn't have people compromising our internal security. In another breath, the same man is saying, "Oh well, the international community should help us with cutting edge technology." If I am to paraphrase that his monologue, that's his statement. But of course, this is a man who, under his leadership, signed the Sharia law in Kano State. A lot of people didn't know this until a Republican in the US Congress actually made this public. So you see, mindset, we're dealing with an America that has intelligence. Let's not kid ourselves. These people know the internal workings of Nigeria more than the people that live in Nigeria themselves. So when I talk about to deter and to degrade, that is clinically, I think, what President Trump is probably looking at. I do not, well, really see a boots on the ground. America does not go into people's warfare, especially when they don't have a dog in the race. What the U.S. government is essentially trying to do is to let let the Nigerian government know that if you think you are so compromised that you cannot deal decisively with terrorists that are killing innocent Nigerians, both Christians and Muslims alike, we will step in with our technology, we will step in with our cutting edge um, gadgets and machines and do the needful. So I think as we speak, anybody who thinks that America does not have the maps and the hideouts of most of these criminal jihadist terrorists, that person would be a fool, really. So I am looking at to deter and degrade the terrorists who are actually causing trouble not only in Nigeria but in the entire sub-region. So I see that as a clinical option, as a surgical option, uh, and in no way or form did President Trump actually intimate in his tweet that he's looking at boots on the ground. He just, even on his interview in Air Force One, he said all options are on the table. So it's left for him to decide. But do we really need that military intervention, air raids, gunfire, gun area firepower, to dismantle these criminals and these terrorists that have actually overwhelmed our Nigerian security architecture? The answer is absolutely yes. And again, Trump, mindset, really, I think it's just a matter of time. Just like you said, Lindsey Graham is one tough Republican that doesn't bluff. In fact, every current and past Republican member is in same footing with Donald Trump with this particular precision strike. And I think Nigeria is ripe for it. Our military, unfortunately, seems completely compromised. The government is so serious; they haven't shown any iota of seriousness with dealing with this matter. One would have expected that by now the Nigerian headquarters of the Nigerian Army, and in fact the entire armed forces, should have been giving Nigerians an hourly basis security report. Nigerians, not just the president. They have all they have to give us reports on what they have done so far since the threats about the foreign power having to step in. But you can see all we see on the timeline is propaganda, lies, videos and pictures of things that happened 9, 10 months ago. So you see a compromised architecture completely that is not really serious. You see them, there's a picture of the new service chiefs with the NSA civilian, it just was photo ops, and they posted it online. That's it. Nobody knows, no briefings, nothing, no pictures to show. Okay, look at the maps. These are what we're studying. Nothing, just photo ops. These guys have taken Nigerians for a ride. So I think um, these strikes will come sooner than you know it. I trust the Republican Party now under Donald Trump. They don't bluff. They will do as they have promised. And is it right for Nigeria to have this at the moment? Yes, this is what we need now to deter and degrade these criminal jihadist terrorists that are running really wild within not only Nigeria, but within the West African sub-region. And this is very necessary and very, very much needed right now, to stem the unfolding crisis. Because Nigeria is, quote, over 120 million now. If we have a full-scale anarchy in the country, it's going to blow up the entire sub-region into the Sahara Desert and into Europe. So America, stepping in now is timely. It is very much needed, and I believe they will do it surgically and clinically to arrest these malfeasance and fix culpability where culpability is. Thank you very much, Mindset, once again. It's always a pleasure in your space. Thank you. I yield the mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justice, for your submission. Now, for you to understand how serious this thing is at this point right now, is Chad have closed their border, right? Have anyone of you seen that? Mr. Yusuf, have you seen it? Are you aware of that? And those on the speaker section, you can unmute your mic and speak.
Yes. We saw
All
the
right,
news,
so
and I'm expecting that Niger might also join, and other neighboring countries of Nigeria.
all right, so now Chad, that is a neighboring country to Nigeria, have closed their border, but the Nigerian governors went to Bayelsa to eat banga soup with plantain. I read the Christian plantain. I think that's right. Even including our vice president. Chad, a neighboring country, are taking this thing more serious than us. And you said these guys are normal. Let me speak like this guy. What's his name? The comedian. Are you normal? At least you guys don't know how to say this thing. I mean, you think it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make somebody somewhere need to find themselves in Aso Rock and sit every single one of them, both the spokesperson for the president, whatever they have there, say, okay, everybody sit down, get a chalk, since they want to be treated like kids, treat them like kids. Take a chalk and get a blackboard and start writing how things will work. Daniel Bwala is doing a different thing. Bayo Managa is doing a different thing, and that person doing a different. It took these guys 12 hours to debunk what Sahara reporters posted out there. 12 good hours. That is madness. You know that the president is not going to deal with this guy. Why would it take you 12 hours? People are start flying the kite that this would happen. Actually, I hosted a space yesterday with a question mark. And the American government are looking at us, are looking at them, saying these people are not taking this thing serious. If they are here listening, because I know some of them are here listening, if you guys don't want to take this thing serious, maybe you think Donald Trump will reach a deal. Perhaps he will. Let me be the first person to tell you, Lindsey Graham is not somebody you toy with. Wherever he leans, that's where the GOP will lean. That's where they're leaning. So let this tell you guys that anything can happen at any moment, since we don't want to learn. No ambassador, nothing whatsoever. And we went to Bayelsa to eat banga soup. Very useless bunch of people. Why I'm so upset about this is, when it comes to this thing, we are hoping that it wouldn't get so bad that innocent people will lose their life. But sometimes it happens. It's war or whatever they call it. But you have a bunch of lunatics wearing their white and white, eating banga soup, or eating fish and plantain in Bayelsa State. Never seen anything as stupid as this. Your house is on fire. Goodness, we are different breed, though, seriously. I mean, I thought Bola Ahmed Tinubu is very good when it comes to strategy, but you see this one, these are the spores that his own strategy is local. They don't have nothing. Anyway, Dr. Usman, you have the mic.
Yes, Mindset, thank you very much for hosting this. Good evening, everybody. So yeah, I'm following developments, and then I'm seeing how very quickly this thing is likely going to escalate. And you're very right, and so many of the speakers here have mentioned that. Sometimes I'm wondering why would the Bola Tinubu administration be this incompetent? They called Goodluck Jonathan incompetent, and on that basis, they maligned him, they pushed him out, they took power. But I've never seen an incompetent administration like this one. To be honest, how can you not have ambassadors almost 3 years into your administration? They have not seen that they have a very bad image in the EU. They have a very bad image with the United States and its own allies in North America. And now there is problem in the house. They've left it in the hands of Boala and Bayo Nanu to mess things up. And many people here are correct in the fact that if you are going to do a line by line analysis of the kind of people that are in this administration, then you'll be wondering, is it true that Tinubu is a master strategist? And they say, where is the strategy? Because strategy is beyond fixing an election. It's beyond scheming your way to get a ticket or to get announced as a winner. Now he's operating in a new territory, and it doesn't seem to be like Tinubu has understand the kind of job that he found himself in. He has transitioned from being the godfather of a state to the president of a country that has a lot of things at hand locally and internationally. I don't have anything against the foreign minister, but if you look at the foreign minister, he doesn't look like somebody who is really sound in diplomacy. The way he talks, body language, perhaps he has some CV somewhere in diplomacy. I don't know, but there are seasoned diplomats who know understand how international politics work that should be occupying that office. Now, if you look at the foreign minister of Buhari, as terrible as the Buhari administration was, that guy was a lot better than this current guy. Look at the appointments of Buhari, the nepotic and appointment that Buhari did, but on overall, they are more sound. It's a more sound team, more kind of focused, more professional team that we currently have. And the guy is not even interested in doing a reshuffle. Almost everybody who is there is just there. And now we can see we're dealing with a much more monumental problem. And the way I'm seeing it, Nigerians are polarized now. They are taking this issue, thinking that we're dealing with another APC PDP talking point or another North South 2027 talking point. This is not it. This is the lives of millions of Nigerians at stake. The people who are supposed to do the job of protecting the lives of Nigerians and their properties have failed to do that. They've spent billions of dollars to record zero result. And now, the foreign power is coming to say that if you cannot do this job, we're coming in to do it. And then everybody is talking, a new form of patriotism, as some of us who are saying that the security situation must be fixed. It's as if we are not the patriotic ones. So in this discussion, according to the majority of people that I see talking, is that we have to rally around Tinubu and show patriotism. What a very weak argument. Patriotism is for you to be able to take responsibility to fix your own country in any capacity that you can, as a messenger, as an officer, as a business person, as a leader, as a politician. You have a right to carry the interest of the country at heart and do your possible best to fix it. Is that what these guys are doing? No. But instead of us to direct our anger to the people who can actually do something on the ground, somebody who the constitution have given them the power and the funding to do. We are taking that anger to Donald Trump and his American interest that he will never listen to us. Trump will do what Trump was to do. If 200 millions of Nigerians will take to the streets tomorrow and call on Trump not to do this thing, he's not going to listen to any one of us. And it seems to me look like people don't understand the enormity of the problem that we have at hand. This is beyond calling on Trump, calling him out, calling him names. This guy has dealt with most sophisticated problems than this one. Is to look inwards, to say, look, guys, we have mishandled this security situation for 15 years. It's a game over. We need to re-architect our security strategy. We need to change certain people. We need to have clear KPIs for the next 1 or 2 or 3 months. Let's engage with these Americans. Let us give them a timeline and say, look, guys, we have taken responsibility of this mess. We're going to fix it. Give us 90 days. Let us begin to see action on ground, reshuffling, changing strategy. The all that we see is sloppy argument trying to appeal to some phantom sense of nationalism. As if these guys who are running the show actually believe in one Nigeria. They're all pretending. Because anybody who loves this entity called Nigeria, like we do, it's not going to sit in an office somewhere in Abuja with an air condition, watching people being killed every single day.
Was on this from yesterday, and he said something that I agreed with. He said, you know, so he's not a fan of. Sorry, he doesn't support capital people here. You know how right, Rafa? Gosh. I mean, these are elementary things that when it comes to politics and PR, I don't know how. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a little things that before you put these things out, you find yourself in a very difficult position. You just got to be very, very clear with what you're putting out there, right? Measure. I mean, this is not measured 3 times, cut once. This is measured 30 times and cut once. And the American government, they are all over Twitter, or X as it's called, following what is going on. And they're thinking, these guys are not, they're not doing anything. Believe you me, right? What I would have done if I was part of them, okay? You see all these things that happened would have happened. We could have, moved it to a different day and everything. All these governors should call their House of Assembly members and show that you're serious about it. Those that have IDP camps in their states should visit the IDP camp and start making sure that people are being, getting people back to their homes. This is the thing that Donald Trump is asking for. And make sure you put security. It goes to a place like Benue State, where people were killed and some other persons have taken over their lands. Go to places like Plateau State and say, yes, the people, I mean, this might not be equal with some of you, but this is the reality for me. Because you need to show this land that you're serious. Those people occupying this land, this is not their land. You have to start gradually getting all these families back and make sure you put security there. Not only Americans, people like myself, every reasonable Nigerian will see this and say, you know one thing, guys, we might not like this guy, but they are trying or they are doing something. The governor should reach out, start putting out statements and say, this is it. Show this guy that you're doing something. But no, they are thinking about 2027. And somebody will tell me that these guys know what they're doing. This is the most stupid thing I've ever seen. A country that's been threatened and they are going to eat. I don't know what kind of fee they gave them in Bayelsa State that somebody would, in their right mind, not think about this. I don't know. And so before we round up, I said it before and I'm going to say it. Some of you might not be comfortable with it. I must commend Mr. Peter Obi. I must commend him for speaking out. I'm one person that always call him out in terms of the way he put out his tweet and everything. But I must commend him. Yes, some of his supporters felt that it's not a good thing for him to speak, that he should not speak. I was of the opinion a few days ago and that yesterday as well, I spoke with somebody, he asked me my opinion. I said, he has to speak. You cannot be a leader and you're shying away from, facing your responsibilities. And I must commend him for speaking out, right? We need help. Nigeria need help. And the way he crafted that tweet, yes, some people felt it's a bit watery. I do not think there's more he could have done because it's a very sensitive issue, but he handled it very well. So I must commend him for that. Hopefully, moving forward, we get leaders who will find a way to speak to the people, and the people will understand that Nigeria belongs to each and every one of us. One thing I'm hoping for, which I will not be surprised if it is when people will start pointing fingers on the tweet, and he decided to come and explain it. I was going to say something, but I don't want to be rude to him. He should leave the tweet the way it is. He have done his job. If people are not comfortable with it, let them put their own tweets. If he decides to come and explain why he put out what he put out, obviously it's part of his way of doing things. I will be very disappointed with him. That tweet is good. He called out the government incompetent. He felt that America, we need help. They should come and help, but that's what we need. We have to be honest about this thing. This is not about, he's not playing politics with it. He's being honest about it, in my view, right? So on that note, guys, it's been a very interesting conversation, and I must thank every one of you who has contributed. If there's any other thing any other person would like us to discuss, perhaps we will do that some other time. I can see that we have still other person requesting for the mic. All right, so let's make a decision right now. Sorry, what's your name? Mr. Yusuf, are you going to bed? If those on speaker station, are you guys tired? Are you guys want to go to bed, right? Mr. Yusuf. Nobody's responding, so it would appear everyone is sleeping. So I must well go and look for.
Yeah, mindset. Can we just add like 15 minutes before we can round up? Maybe a few more people want to talk.
Yeah. I just wanted to take your permission. For me, I would like to go to bed, but I don't think it's fair for those who have been waiting to speak. I wanted to say, do you guys think we should bring them up, and then are we going to do that, or should we just round it up and come back tomorrow again, as I've continued in the last 4 days? Okay, co-host, let me make a decision since none of you want to respond. Bring those people up. Everyone requesting for the mic. Can you kindly bring them up, please?
Okay, no problem.
All right. So, Mr. Usman, you wanted to say something before we round up. You said, right? You have the mic, sir.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that if there are more people who want to speak, let them speak. But probably I may just want to add one or two things down before they bring new speakers up. For me, this 2027 thing that they are more interested in is going to rock the whole boat for them. And I do not see why a politician would get a chance of 4 years to actualize his dream of becoming a president. Whether he won or he rigged, it doesn't matter. Why would somebody destroy the existing 4 years he has as if that 4 years is nothing? The next 4 years is what there is. That is something that I cannot wrap my head around. I have never seen a politician obsessed with a second term like what I'm seeing today. And then I'm asking myself, why this obsession with the second term? Why not do your first term? Put in your best. Put yourself out there. Let Nigerians decide. If you win again, fine. If you don't, you go home, you retire, you enjoy your money. But this level of desperation that I'm seeing, bringing everybody into the ruling party, is a very, very dangerous trend. It's what is going to cause the destruction of these guys. And in hindsight, the historians or analysts are going to look at what's happening today and say all the evidence is on the wall that you cannot eat your cake and still have it. Thank you and good night.
Thank you very much, Dr. Usman. I made my prediction few days ago or a few weeks ago about what I think would happen in 2027. If you ask me, I will give you what my prediction will be. The dynamics have changed, and it's quite a very difficult one because I think the government are still focusing on 2027. There might be no 2027. There might be no 2027. That is how serious this thing is. And hopefully they will see the handwriting on the wall and start working towards how to respond to this thing, right? Thank you very much. Uche, is that Uche? Well, it's been a while. How are you? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, myself. It's been a while, honestly. I have been quite away from spaces for a while now, and this conversation is something that I'm not able to also be part of it. I was in a place a while ago where the conversation, of course, the host is not from Nigeria, and we have also Africans in the audience where we were discussing this very topic, a lot of conspiracies and people talking about how America is going to take over our resources. I was just discussing with a friend this evening, and I told him that there's something this thing tells me. What really in Nigeria, it's something that if you witness what happened in 2015 and witnessing what is happening now, you understand clearly that Nigeria is a very important part of the country, especially the global south. And there are people somewhere who are uh, playing game, chess game with us. Um, so I look at what is happening from different perspectives. From the point of view as somebody who comes from the southern Nigeria who have uh, seen the crises that that are happening in the south and of course in the north, um, and the sentiment that is very popular within the political zone where I come from. And if I look at it from that point of view specifically, and I will tell you that look, a lot of people are very happy with this. It is something that is currently, excites a lot of people, especially the people who are pro Biafra. And the reason is not perfect, and because this is something they have been clamoring for from the one. They have been calling for the Republican candidate, that is Donald Trump, to intervene, and he has finally agreed to intervene in Nigerian situation. Then from somebody from this part of the world who is not, you know, I'm not pro Donald Trump. I never supported him, but I have been somebody who is very critical of him. Not that I support Democrats either, but I do not support his approach on, on so many issues. So I think, Nigeria. However, if you look at the current reality on ground, where you have the people in the middle belt um, um, crying, calling for help, their communities are being wiped, their communities are being replaced, their population are being depleted. If you look at all these things and the reality on ground, some of them farmers, they are no longer going to farm, they no longer have access to their farmland, their ancestral land. There's so many things happening. Many of them are in IDP camp, and the Nigerian government has somehow looked away. They don't care about this. They are not doing anything to reverse activities towards the south. Christians are the ones raising awareness, and now there's a response to clamp down on the people who are killing the Christians, who are somehow being classified as Muslims. Now, if Muslims say that they are also being killed. I mean, the Muslims are also being killed. I mean, that is the popular opinion from some people from the north. If they are saying that and they're claiming that these same people that are killing Christians are also killing them, I think it's only right that we have a consensus that these people should be eliminated. Whatever anything that will be done to make sure that they are eliminated, that should be welcomed by every party and shouldn't be seen as Christian versus the Muslim. Because if you look at 2013, in 2013, the northern leaders they brought to OIC, right, to intervene when they were offering amnesty to Abubakar Shekau. And he refused to accept the amnesty, and they wrote to OIC to intervene so that he can accept the amnesty and, of course, settle the insecurity at the time. But he refused. So the point is that the northern leaders look beyond the shores of the country for an intervention. They look beyond the shores of the country for for solution. So why can't that same thing happen from Christian leaders who are looking beyond the government and not now. This is where conspiracy theories, whether it's going to be true or not, this is where it comes in. Because if you look at embedded or where it's gone to and the activities and the post effect and all of that, and a lot of people are saying that look, this is allowing them into Nigeria is very dangerous. It will be tantamount to decimating and taking our resources and all of that. And the people.
La 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 la.